See, they got a landscaper over there. Do something. He's got art.
Well, as AC would say, got him. He told me that it's
Oh, man. Okay. With Rayford, you never know.
Hi ho is off to the zoo. We go again. Another day sitting here trying to make heads or tails out of this or that. Has warned a little thunder and lightning and a bit of a short-lived downpour. All is well, or is it all is good? I'm still not sure. Language has confused me from the very first words I ever don't know how to figure out some of that stuff. Math is a mostly constant thing. As long as those putting the numbers in the right spot and knowing what the working order of the math process is, we'll do that lesson another day. Good morning, one and all. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
I'm Lee Barrows.
And
There's your cue.
Oh, I'm the donkey man this morning in the house. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And
Playing with Dr. Pepper Zero this morning.
first this morning, some sad news. I got to tell you all about. A body was found along the water's edge at Hammocks Beach State Park yesterday afternoon. The Oslo Sheriff's Office has assumed the investigation. They say it doesn't appear foul play was involved. The male victim was last seen in Swansboro Sunday afternoon. His name will be released when the Sheriff's Office confirms that relatives, all of them, have been notified. So we don't know anything else. That's it. But otherwise, it is officially Friday Eve.
Ta-da!
Close to the beginning of the weekend. If you're a high-ranking government worker, that means the weekend begins at noon Friday. That you are on the clock, but officially in a meeting or otherwise tied up outside the building, and not necessarily in a kinky way. If you work for that high-ranking government worker who takes flight at noon tomorrow, that means you kick back, put a note on the door that says, "Be back soon," or "I'll be back in 15 minutes," but you don't post the time that the note was written. Shoot the breeze, take some messages promising that your high-ranking government boss will return your calls at her earliest opportunity, and then you mark time until the 5 o'clock bell goes ringy-dingy.
We have Robin on the phone. Gee, I wonder why he's called.
Why is Robin up this time of morning? Oh, well, no.
He was. He gave up on us.
Yeah, I want to see I want to know what it got you.
Yeah,
Hey?
I don't know.
Oh boy, it's time. Well, that's payback.
Is he back? Robin? Whoever?
Yes, sir.
There you are.
See?
we can barely hear you.
What's that?
Much better now. We couldn't
Okay.
hear.
Hey, just I know it's Friday.
It's not Friday.
It is
Thursday.
Friday.
Oh, you're already in trouble
We can tell
today.
you're retired.
Hey,
You're
he's
trying to-
already in trouble if he thinks
I'm
it's
trying
Friday.
to skip out on that birthday is what you're trying to do. Now, come
I'm
on
just
now.
kidding, man. I just wanted to call in and wish my lovely bride a happy birthday. It's been great, and I hope we continue to have many, many more together. I love you, and I just want to let you know we're thinking about you today, and just wanted to wish you the very best, sweetheart.
Thank you.
You go back to sleep now.
Now, Kelly, you want me to be real now?
What'd you get her?
That means he
AC?
didn't get your birthday present.
Yeah, what'd
Yeah,
you
he
get her,
thinks
AC?
it's Friday. That's not a good sign.
Come on. What'd you get her, AC?
I'm not going to tell you, man, but I did get her something, so but that's not for you guys to know about.
Oh, boy. We're not talking about Priscilla McCall's and Adam and Eve.
Hey, Circle
we're talking
K's
about
open.
llamas.
It better be an alpaca.
Alpaca,
He's
whatever.
gonna buy you a sheet store.
Or
It's a
I
nice
can get my air conditioned lawnmower.
You don't drive it, though.
Well, isn't
I
that
will.
Circle K up here open 24/7?
Yeah, uh-huh.
There you go.
Right across from where you were.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Get
That's
your
right.
air
You
conditioning
can
on.
stop and get a gift card right there for some gasoline.
26 grand, Suge, you can be riding in style. And for $400 more, we'll put your air ride seat on it.
Oh, I like that too.
Yeah.
All right, Robin, see gift ideas. And that $70,000 jetpack I've been wanting.
Oh God, here we go.
Mhm.
You better take out more insurance if you do that, Robin, because you know she falls upstairs. What is she going to do? What is she going to do with a jetpack up in the
I
air?
want you to have another birthday so the jetpack is out.
Thank you, very good. Thank you, I appreciate that.
I don't blame you, bud.
But
Well, thank
I
you.
just wanted to say again, I love you, sweetheart, and it's been great. And I just want this is your special day, and just happy birthday. I'm very proud of you. And I'm proud of what you do and what you stand for.
Thank you.
God,
Like
I'm
I said, I
tearing
couldn't be
up.
more proud. But happy birthday, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. We
That
appreciate
was
it.
sweet, Robin.
That was nice.
All right, we'll see you guys
All
later.
right, yeah, bye.
Well, I gave her some birthday stuff for you, too. I mean, I want you to get a track Georgia buggy.
A what?
A track, not a wheel Georgia buggy, but a track Georgia buggy, so he can haul that rock back and forth and won't have to worry about it. He just stand on it, move the lever,
A
hit
Georgia.
this lever.
A
We call
Georgia
them a
buggy.
It's a
Now, wait a
concrete
minute. This
buggy.
is Kelly's
And
birthday,
we
not
call
Robin's.
We call
Yeah.
it Georgia. Well, yeah, but his is coming up December 20th.
Yeah, his is the 29th.
But so you can take it, you can run it just like a little skid steer, but
A
you just hit the
wheelbarrow
lever
works fine.
and it dumps for you.
Wheelbarrow works just fine.
If she's going to get an air conditioned lawnmower, at least he can get a track Georgia buggy, and that's what we call it. I want him to have one.
Why don't you
I don't
just
even
get
know
him-
what that is,
Why don't you
but-
just get him the whole truck? And he can just go by and fill
No.
up what he
He
needs.
can't get it in the backyard.
He gets
Yeah,
a running
but-
start, he can. He goes through anywhere.
I ain't trying to get him in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness gracious. As you probably could expect today, sarcasm reigns around these parts.
Yes, it does.
Today, my name again is Walter. I am the dummy that makes a guy
I'd
named
kill
Jeff
you.
Dunham a lot of money when I'm not here.
You still upset?
About
I
what?
don't know.
I was
You
upset.
still Waltering?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
This device that was invented by Satan.
Oh my gosh.
It's got to be a computer.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel your pain on that one.
I sent our friend Chris a note yesterday about things that were going to go boom. And how many laws that I was going to break
Mm,
with malice aforethought.
mm.
So y'all need to get your bail money ready. Because the man going to be coming to get me if I have to unleash on this thing. Because I won't be able to keep it quiet. I won't be able to keep it real quiet. It'll be
Okay.
okay.
All right.
That's what my man needs.
Okay.
And because I think
Just
there's
do
some
what I
virus
did.
in it.
I remember I bought a brand new printer, and every time I went to use it, it would say paper jam, and there was no paper in it.
That's why.
I took it apart. I looked to see if there
Uh-oh.
was a speck or something. I got so mad. I picked it up, walked outside, and threw it down my driveway.
And then it started working.
It was not working for sure
Okay.
after that. It can be so frustrating.
I can't wait
Always.
for that. We have the office computer hates me, so I feel your pain. I
Oh.
understand. I mean, the office copier. I'm sorry, it hates me with the password.
Oh, that's
so
another-
I get it.
The
Yeah.
copier that gave us problem,
Mhm.
you know, it was one of the word in any electronic technician's vocabulary. If
Mhm.
anybody uses it, electronic techs get really mad.
Mhm.
Engineers in TV, engineers in radio, me. I get mad with the word intermittent. If it's broken, by God, it can be fixed.
Not a printer.
If it's intermittent, then it works while the tech is there. Then you walk out the door and it quits working. You call it, it's still not working. Oh, geez. That's one fighting
Check
word
blood pressure.
every time.
Ooh.
It's intermittent. Yeah, I'll shoot you.
Copiers.
I will break it. It won't be intermittent when I finish with it.
Copy machines are not made to last, and they're not made to connect to the internet and stay connected. They're a pain.
They
They're a pain.
are, but yours wasn't. Whatever.
My finally got mine going, but it's aggravating.
Some kind of crazy news down at Hampstead.
Whoa, I was just there last night. What happened?
I was there yesterday and sat in
Where
traffic
were you
for
on
40
April
minutes.
14th, my birthday, or a couple of days after?
Here?
Yeah, what happened in Hempstead?
The remains of a bottlenose dolphin were found
Oh,
on an
yeah.
island along the intercoastal waterway, missing its head.
Yes.
What?
Mean people.
And-
Mean.
Investigators say someone cut the head off and they want to know who it is.
Why would you
If
do that?
You have a clue. There's a cool $20,000 reward waiting for you. If you are afraid to tell who it is, call me. I'll tell who it is. We'll split the $20,000.
Yeah.
It's believed this happened in mid-April.
I'll
And
fight
those
somebody.
involved in this despicable act, a warning. This is where karma might get you. An examination found the dolphin was carrying brucella,
Oh.
a bacteria that causes brucellosis, which can be, I don't know how to pronounce either one of them. I just made it up, which
Just
can
say-
be transferred to people through direct contact. In humans, brucellosis can cause flu-like symptoms, including fever, sweats, headaches, back pains, and physical weakness. Humans, though I am not suggesting that whoever did this deserves to be called a human, generally acquire the disease through direct contact or by eating or drinking contaminated animal products or by inhaling airborne agents. Something killed that dolphin.
Well, it may not be hard to find out who did chop its head off when they go to the ER.
If you know someone who seemed to be having the flu, maybe last month, someone you think could do something like this, you might want to reach out to the authorities. NOAA pays $20,000 for this.
Anybody growing scales or
Yeah.
gills? Yeah, it might be a sign.
Well, dolphins don't have scales and they don't
That's
have
true.
gills.
They are very smooth.
So anyway, everything going around. You got a good old birthday going on here.
I do.
It's starting
Thank you
off
for my
nice.
support.
29th.
Yes, 29 plus.
How old is your daughter?
Yeah.
Younger.
I'm just
Older
checking.
than 29.
She's younger.
One's older than
Younger
29.
than her mother.
Yeah.
I'm just checking.
Mhm.
Why do we need numbers?
Yeah, some of them up-
Oh, I have no problem telling people how old I am. I'm 56 today.
Okay. Well, you're
Mhm.
past double nickels and you're on your
I
way
am.
downhill,
I know.
headed for Social
Yeah,
Security.
you know you are now termed as a senior
I
citizen.
know. I got like a little
Well, you
AARP thing in the
please tell
mail.
me.
Yeah.
Why, like especially news media. It was a woman. She was a senior citizen. She was like 57. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
not senior.
Just next time you go to Sheets, don't brush your hair. Maybe to give you a discount on that coffee. Like, so.
The hot
Chocolate,
chocolate,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
I almost stopped there yesterday.
I saw
I did 2 weeks ago.
I saw the
just
sign
amazing.
for Sheets at the Warsaw. I thought I think about you every time
Yeah.
I see Sheets. I said,
have
Kelly wants
Sheets.
to be here.
I wanted
Yeah.
to go, but the sky was black and it was looking ominous.
Well, let me
She's
tell you,
on
Just like-
Ridgelands now.
I went to Wilmington yesterday. I had to take Mom to the doctor.
Mhm.
And when I tell you we ran into the pits of hell with a thunderstorm,
Mhm.
the kind where you can't see in front of you,
Uh-huh.
College Road was flooded completely. It was bad. Then we got to the doctor, and then the bottom dropped out even more. So I sat in the car for a few minutes, and finally they're like, "You need to bring her in." So I was soaked. Mom was half soaked. I had an umbrella, but I mean, it was
That's
just
it
really
was
good.
it didn't do anything.
Blowing rain
Close to
doesn't
the
help.
hospital,
It was-
to the doctor. Is the doctor's office close to the hospital?
No, they're going towards Carolina Beach. Yeah,
And you went through Hampstead?
I had to.
Why?
I just,
She could have gone through, Kentucky would have been okay.
I know.
It's to
Yeah.
me, I'm with Kelly. It's much easier to
It's
just
just
hit
easier.
17.
It's
than to go
easier.
the back roads.
Plus, if I feel like but Hampstead yesterday was really bad. Worse than,
Every day.
What
Yeah.
time did you come back through there?
came back through at 4:20.
That's the time I was going in.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but
going in.
going in there
Kelly,
is a hot mess.
if you think you're going to be going through Hampstead or having to use Hampstead to get to that location you're talking
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
and at a time of day when we know the traffic is
Yeah.
terrible in Hampstead, you can't drive around Hampstead, but you can. Take 53 out of here.
Well,
go to Burgall.
Yeah.
Go to Burgall. It's a wide open highway.
Get on 40 and come
Get
out.
on 40 and do it that way. And then get off 40
Mm-hmm.
and just go down around the battleship
Mm-hmm.
and then take that all the way around, work your way downtown. You will bypass everything and suddenly you're going to be on College Road
Well, a
South.
couple
and then
days ago-
Shipyard Road. You will miss all
Well,
that
it was-
mess.
A
Well,
couple-
last time I went, real quick, last time I went that way during this time of day, because we left here at 11:15.
Yeah.
Hampstead wasn't bad. I don't know what
You're
was going on yesterday.
It was
I
yesterday.
mean, I just don't
He has
know.
this,
There was an issue. I don't know what the issue was.
You can
Well,
say,
you
you
know-
can say 15 minutes. You can say 15 to 30 minutes.
I was here 40
Depending.
minutes. I timed it. I
If
said,
you-
oh my God,
if
I'm going to
you-
be late.
If you'll go down 53, which right now they're doing some construction on it, but if you'll go down 53, go take 40, get on I-14,
Yeah.
get off on 421,
Yep.
go right past, like you said, by the battleship, go
Yeah.
across the steel bridge, and
Yeah.
take the truck route
Mm-hmm.
on Front Street.
Mm-hmm.
When you get right there to Barnett, it's Carolina Beach, and you can get it. And the only thing you have to worry about is bus number 201 for the city of Wilmington. That sucker runs up and down that Carolina Beach all day long, and if you don't think it ain't aggravating for you to get behind him, he's hitting every bus stop. So get in the left-hand lane, because he's going to be there. He or she's going to be there. And it's so aggravating. And the only other bad thing about it, all the containers are going in and out of there.
Yeah, the
So they
port.
got to turn at the Shipyard Boulevard. But yeah, that is the quickest way in. I'm
Well,
serious.
they were 4-lane 53 from Jacksonville to I-40.
Well, they did widen it. I mean, honey,
It's
Yeah.
fine.
They did
I
right.
don't have any trouble on 53.
Well, Kelly, in your
Yeah.
defense, 2 days ago, that intersection at Maple Hill right there in 53 was flooded.
Yeah, it was totally flooded. That's why I
Well,
wasn't
it's
sure.
so was
I
everywhere
knew all
else.
that. Yeah.
So was everywhere else.
It was flooded.
Shh, now I'm trying to make our case here.
I can make it good. I took that haul truck yesterday. I can clear out Carolina Beach. I might go down the road. They all look at you like, oh my God, what has he got?
I will say though,
And Hampstead too. They'll clear out.
HP was out yesterday on 17 up there
I
going
didn't
towards
see them.
Hampstead. Oh yeah, I was like, you go.
Calling everybody was sitting there acting a fool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, traffic's rough.
And 95 when I had to go to Dunn yesterday to a lay down yard.
Nothing
Now there was from I-40 to
Mm.
Fayetteville, there was 3 overpasses that were always low. If you had a high,
I know that they had the tires.
no, you had to get off. You had to get off the exit, go to the top of the ramp, cross over, and go back down.
Uh-huh.
ST Wooten has been working on this for years. They are on the last one. They're
Well,
they
raising, they're
Dig
raising
a
them up.
ditch in there and you
Wow.
could go
Yeah.
down and up the other side. Be
Now,
cheaper than
people-
raising it.
People don't realize there's a light that we have to look at when we're going up and down 95 in that area. If the light comes on,
You better
have
not.
to get off right there at the overpass. But ST Wooten is fixing the very last one.
Otherwise you get scalped.
Yeah. In fact, you could go by the old ones. You could see where they've been hit more than one time.
Better
Wow.
hope the light's right.
Yeah.
That it's
Well, if the
working.
light don't come on, you're in a mess. Of course, now if you're a sensible heavy hauler, you know how
You know
high
which
you
one
are
it is
before you
anyway.
leave, because there's such a thing as called a height stick, and trust me, I use it.
Okay.
And you better. Like the guy hit the overpass right here at Camp Lejeune main gate that time. He
Oh
left-
God, yes.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
a mess.
Rayfield, I got something for you.
Shoot
You're gonna like this.
quietly.
So this man, okay, let me back up. In 2013, this guy was convicted of murder. Okay. He was quote a teenager, but I'm thinking 18, 19. I think he was an adult, All right. So he got a life sentence. This is here in North Carolina. He's from
Uh-huh.
Garner. Okay. Well, he's 28 now.
Oh God, he served a long time
Well,
for killing another
apparently,
person.
you're going to think this is even better. He was sentenced originally to 25 years with possibility of parole, but then another 162 months. I don't even know how long that is after the murder. So he had a whole bunch tacked on. Okay. So in 2020, for whatever reason, it is not clear, he requested to be resentenced. I didn't know you could do that, but he did.
He did. Did he get dumb?
Oh, he didn't, but the state did. It gets better.
He got dumb.
So when he requested to be resentenced, there was an error in the transfer of his paperwork that only showed the burglary charges he had been convicted of, not the murder.
Huh.
So, March of this year, he was released because of the paperwork. Yes.
And DOC didn't catch that?
Apparently nobody did. So, in April, he shot somebody else because he just liked prison so much, I guess, wanted to go back.
While he was out of prison.
So he was charged in April, assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, and a bunch of other charges. Okay, so yeah, so now WRAL somehow got a hold of this and started digging. That's when they realized, well, this dude should have been in prison. Like, what happened? And that's when the error was caught. Like,
Really?
No human in the North Carolina prison system.
So they caught that, but then he was out in. Let me ask you.
So here's what happened. There's a timeline. In May of 2018, the Court of Appeals allowed him to be. May 2018, North Carolina Court of Appeals allowed him to be resentenced. It does not say why he. I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
January 2025, he was resentenced to life in prison without parole. Like, you should have kept what you had, buddy, but whatever. That's his fault. Too bad. March of this year, he was released for time served because the murder charges were not in the paperwork. How'd that even happen? April of this year, a woman was shot. It was him. May of this year, he was arrested. And then, of course, this past week, the court has determined he was prematurely released from prison. Now, I don't know what all this means, but I think somebody's going to lose their job.
Well, that's all well and good. Yes, they ought to be fired. However, the great state of North Carolina, the Department of Corrections, is responsible for the murders or the one additional murder plus
the other two.
Civilly, the great state of North Carolina, I hope their insurance is paid up.
Because
they're going to lose some money if the victims of this idiot while he was out and wasn't supposed to be out, they got cases. Oh, Lord of mercy.
It was two people, a husband and wife, that he killed in 2013. When he was, 18? They were a couple, this guy just looks mean. He just does.
Just take him out.
Oh, my Lord, he was 15 when he killed him.
Oh, right.
Oh, even worse. They said he could not get the death penalty because of that.
Right. He couldn't get the death penalty.
But he had to have been in a gang.
Bunch of.
My Lord.
The more you read, the worse it gets.
This guy's got to be, I don't know, but he shot the husband 16 times in the head, chest, and torso. And his wife was shot 7 times, back, lower abdomen, and legs. They did not shoot the child that they had with them.
This guy has some
He's got
some issues that you could deal with, but I wouldn't touch it. I'd just take him out back and take care of the problem. Get tobacco.
Yep, we can bring the mini excavator right around here.
And he did it with his uncle and another person. It had to be his name. I don't know, but
I'm telling you, folks, you're not understanding. No. I know you like to, being the counselor, you like to look for the good in people and try to help them out, right? There are some people that are just mean. They're born mean. I agree
with that.
They're bred mean. Mm-hmm. They have relapses and they get meaner. Mm-hmm. Then they become meanest. And then there's nothing worth salvaging. Nothing. Mm-hmm. Absolutely zero.
I know a few people like that, actually.
I do too. Well, I knew a few. Offshore out to 20 nautical miles today. Southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 3 to 4 feet every 6 seconds. Sounds and rivers of moderate chop. Looking not too bad out there. Additional rain possible. Friday, tomorrow, southwesterly winds 10 to 15, seas 3 to 4 feet. Again, the seas still about 6 seconds apart. Sounds and rivers of moderate chop. And on Saturday, guess what? Southwesterly winds 10 to 15, seas 3 to 4 feet. We're going to have about the same kind of weather for the next 3 days as far as the seas are concerned. Your turn.
All right. Well, today, a chance of showers and thunderstorm. It says 40%, but look, otherwise, mostly sunny, high of 87, 16-mile-an-hour gusts. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 67, 15-mile-an-hour gusts. We don't always have night gusts, but apparently tonight we are. Tomorrow,
you're
mostly
never
sunny,
awake.
A high of 93. No, I'll read this. It never tells it. Yeah. And tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, low of 74. Wow, that's hot. for a night. And then Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 93 and gusty. But it'll be sunny.
Okay. Here we go.
Let's do it.
I know nothing more this morning than I did yesterday about a situation with the Onslow County Commissioners and the volunteer fire departments in this county. There is a big boo ha 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 in the works, and until I can get preferably our county commissioner, our county manager in here to explain to me, the non-political nuts and bolts of the whole mess, I have no opinions. I can listen to you. I would prefer to listen to the firefighters after I have someone explain to me the whole issue so that I will be able to answer questions and after I form an opinion about the proposed, we'll call it a contract for now, that the county government wants the 13 volunteer fire departments to agree to before the county solidifies the county budget for 25-26. I've heard that the fire departments have a deadline to meet. I believe that is true. I'm not sure how carved in stone that deadline is. I do know that an approved budget is required by statute to be approved before 1 July. That's 6 weeks away.
Yep.
The nuts and bolts of the contract, proposed contract, I do not know. I read bits and pieces. I've heard from irate people. I've listened to comments that make no sense. And I heard fears expressed that the county government wants all taxpayers to fund full-time fire departments throughout the county to replace the volunteers. That's what I hear. I've seen not one person, not one thing coming from the county government to indicate that would be their goal. First of all, let me just think about this just a minute as a mathematics guy. It'll take, 6 people per fire department minimum, per fire station minimum, 6 paid people for minimum. That's going to be about 50, I'll have to round it off, $50,000 per person per year. That's $300,000 per fire department times 13. I didn't do the math on that one. That's a lot of money.
They don't have it.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It going in and taking over and making them all the same. What's that going to do to the morale of the communities that these volunteer fire departments serve? It would destroy the morale. The people living there, they're not ready for paid full-time takeover of the fire departments. There are a lot of people out there who work from day one to establish volunteer fire departments throughout the county. Yeah, it's part of the way rural areas have worked for a long time. Onslow County is not New Hanover County. New Hanover County is a tiny little county, and they have a bunch of volunteer fire departments, but you know what? The cities merged. The city of Wilmington extends halfway to Carolina Beach and is butts the door up against Wrightsville Beach. There's just not that many rural areas in New Hanover County. We got a lot of rural areas. If you don't believe it, get out there and drive it or get an airplane, fly over.
Yes.
Okay, so the county, hopefully, there's no one dumb enough in the county to want to even consider such a move.
No, they do not.
Okay.
They don't even have the money. Robin told me that.
I don't care what Robin said right now. He's one of 7. That's what the key is. All of them would have to agree to do that, and then they would be run out of town on a rail, probably driven out by a fire truck. All of them. They'd even move your house. It's not going to happen. If anybody you have fears. I've got fears of aliens coming to town. All illegal aliens from south of the border, but I've got fears of aliens. And that's much more likely to occur than the county of Onslow taking over and setting up 13 paid and man 13 fire stations. That would be a freaking... I do have some questions that I want to ask somebody in charge up at the top who's not politically motivated either way.
I don't think any of
I
this
got
has to
questions.
do with politics.
I don't either.
Well,
Right.
just remove the possibility.
A
Right.
lot of,
For
a
the-
lot of it has to do with insurance.
as far as discussion is concerned. But- Well, first of all, if that's the only thing you're concerned about is the insurance rating, then put all paid fire stations there. Your insurance rates will come down because they're all going to be big time certified.
Yeah.
Your insurance rates will come down. Is
Yeah.
that what you want?
Some fire departments.
If that's what you want, then cough up the money to pay for it. I'm not willing to do that.
Well, can I say something on this?
Sure.
I read the contract word by word by word. And my opinion, if the county is going to be giving these fire departments the money that they've got listed, I think it's a good contract, because what they're doing is, you have to understand, the volunteer fire departments are nonprofit organizations. The county is holding their feet to the fire. Like there's a lot of stipulations, like if you don't keep up your nonprofit and you lose your nonprofit status, you have to close the doors. The county wants the equipment to revert back to them so they can place it appropriately. So there's a lot of things in this contract, mainly that, plus the fact that record keeping is vitally important. They want an audit done yearly, which the county will pay for the audit to be done by a non-biased person. And if there's any inconsistencies, then that the fire department is given a certain period of time to correct that and has to show. So basically, they are holding their feet to the fire. Now, I did talk to a volunteer yesterday that's been within the fire system for over 30 years as a volunteer. And he told me that the biggest thing with what the volunteers are feeling like is the fact that they feel like the county rushed through this at them, didn't really give them a lot of time to negotiate, aren't willing to negotiate. And they said their main reason for fighting this is they feel like there is a huge lack of communication and trust. Now, this is what they're saying. They said that when Norman Bryson was there, they had constant communication with him. Now they have somebody else there. They said they don't ever talk to him. They don't even know who he is or where he came from. I'm just repeating this. But they said that's the biggest thing. And they said that they've had several meetings. Their representatives have had several meetings with a few of the commissioners. And they said the last meeting, only one commissioner showed up, so they were upset about this. But this gentleman that I talked to, he's put 30 years in. He's given it his all, his blood, sweat, and tears. And they kind of feel like that all the time that they have put in and their blood, sweat, and tears are not being appreciated. And they feel like what the county is trying to do is take over the fire departments eventually. Which that's not what this contract says. No. So I understand their feelings on that side. But personally, I've read this contract line by line by line, and I understand what the county's trying to do. And being a taxpayer, and that extra $1,000 that I pay a year for living in the city that goes to the county, I'm for it. Well, I have to say I'm for it.
But I think there's a lot of fear mongering that's going on.
problem.
A lot of it. I think there's a lot of hidden agendas. But the biggest thing is the county did not write this contract. A committee did of 4 fire chiefs and 3 commissioners. Okay? Let's be very clear. Like, there's a lot of things that aren't being put out there. But, because things are trying to be almost like directed into a particular direction, one-sided. All right, the county agreed to the contract after it was presented to them that they had this committee put together with some haggling and whatever else they did. And then the commissioners got together and they all agreed, okay, we like this all 7. Let me say that again. All 7 did. But they did not write this contract. This group, 4 fire chiefs, I do not know which 4 they are. I do know who the 3 commissioners were. Robin was not one of them. This committee I don't know how long this committee's how long they've been talking about this, but that's where this came about.
It did not come up overnight.
No.
Okay.
No,
There's
there's
been
been-
discussions.
Yeah.
over the years.
With the seven, well,
Yeah.
I'm talking about this thing specifically. There have
Mhm.
been 7 people discussing this
Yes.
for a period of time.
Correct.
How long? I don't know.
I
It
don't
was not
either.
a week. It wasn't 2 weeks. It
No.
was a month.
No.
So it's been in discussion for a period of time. Now, the meeting that you referenced that only one commissioner showed up,
Mhm.
that was one of the one of the 3 commissioners.
Right.
So one showed up
Mhm.
for this meeting with, how many of the 4 fire chiefs showed up? You
Yeah.
don't know. You
They
don't have
showed
that.
up, my understanding.
All 4 of them?
Yes, but only one. Now,
And
that's
did
what I was
all
told.
of the fire, well, okay. You don't know. You were told.
I was not there.
Okay.
But this
So-
person that I talked to, I know personally, great guy, and he has no reason
I'm
to
sure he
misrepresent to
doesn't.
me.
every volunteer
Right.
fireman that we have in this area is a great person.
Oh, they are.
They're dedicated.
Fantastic.
They're all dedicated.
Mhm.
And I
Uh,
think
I
them.
think they're overtaxed, not dollar wise. I think that every fire station, I don't, you know, yeah, I go way back. Fire departments were set up to do what? Put out fires,
Mhm.
save your property.
Right.
Now they have to respond to pretty much every traffic wreck that occurs.
Right.
They have to send people that, if they're a volunteer department, may be on their job somewhere.
Right.
They have to go run it. 1 or 2 units. I live in an area right here, Pumpkin Center Volunteer Fire Department, right down the
Love
road, and they're
Pumpkin
running
Center.
here, they're running
Yes.
here, and they're running. One unit doesn't roll so often.
Well, this
Couple units
right
roll.
here in the contract is stipulating that the agency, which we're talking about, the fire departments, they have to agree that they will not convey, transfer, or dispose of any of its land or equipment, including fire stations, trucks, and other sporting apparatuses, unless identified as an excluded asset
In other words,
Which
if
they
they
have to do that.
if they had it before,
that
or
were
it's personal-
purchased with the county funding and that had a purchase price at or above $5,000. Let's talk about Piney Green. Go ahead, Rayford.
Well, no, I know very little.
Right.
The word Piney Green has been on Piney Green Road out here for many, many, many years, and it's near the intersection of 24. They needed a new fire station, and they got one.
Yes, they did. Who's making the payments on it?
Who paid for it? Do you think?
Probably taxpayers.
The county. County's
Now,
making the payments on it.
Then the county should have
Piney
some
Green
oversight.
Department originally set up. They raised money. They held bake sales. They did whatever, car washes.
Mhm.
Did those pictures. I'll explain that scam in a minute.
Yes, I remember that. You
But
know.
and they're not the only ones all suckered into it. But the Piney Green then, as we're understanding, that empty fire station was a perfect location to set up because it's got big bays in it. EMS units, the rescue squads that
Yeah.
are having to put 2 or 3 people sitting in a rescue unit, hanging out with the motor running all day long.
Yeah,
Here,
I agree.
there, or everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect location for at least one of those units to be.
I agree with that.
Okay, so
100%.
instead of having to sit there, they can sit in a decent room,
Hmm.
and when they get a call, they get in their unit and they go, just like the fire departments
I
do.
agree with that.
So, but Piney Green, as was told to me, I do not know for a fact.
I was told by a commissioner.
I was too, that they want to keep that place and sell it and keep the money for it.
No.
Okay, I mean, this is what I was told.
If
I
it was
don't
bought
know
with
yet.
taxpayer
I'll have to
funds,
wait.
no.
Well, I don't
when
know
I
about
get
the
the
old
county
building.
manager in here,
Right.
all this knows and everything else, we hear, they told me, I read it, I heard about it under the grapevine. No, until I know, then I will have an opinion. That's all.
Well, you know what, Rayford, I can post this contract later on today
Right.
on our page.
Contract is a fact, as a proposed contract.
yes,
It's
it
a
is-
document that
It is
put it out there.
not hard to read, and I think it's pretty basic.
Mm-hmm.
And it does deal with other things like them having to maintain their records, their books, audits,
Oh, cool. That's all
Well,
right.
so does
Keep
everybody
up-
else that gets funds.
keep up with all their training standards, which all of this is normal.
Yes.
You know,
What's
all
the
of it's
problem?
normal. I mean, if you keep really good books
Uh-huh.
and you record everything as it occurs, you shouldn't have any problem come at the end of the year having to provide
Now,
information for an
I'm going to
audit.
put on two hats here.
Right.
Two previous hats. I don't wear either one of them anymore. The first one, let's just say law enforcement. I ask the same questions. They don't want to tell me about something. What you got to hide?
Mm-hmm.
What are you hiding?
Right.
As the reporter, and wearing that other hat, when I go up to the mayor, to the city council, to a county commissioner, to whoever, county manager, city manager, anybody out there, and they seem to be dodging me. Is there something here you're not telling me? What are you not telling me, and why? Okay, let's open up the books. Then we start digging. Now, you just talked about WRAL uncovering some stuff. When you start digging,
You find stuff out.
you really never know how far you're going to go if you're any good as an investigator at all.
It's true.
And I was. Oh, God help them.
Well, you know, these
I didn't turn loose. Bulldog.
some of these fire people, fire volunteers, are claiming that they feel like this contract is unrealistic. And I wish somebody from that side would call in and
Well,
talk about.
I would rather
where
have the
they're-
county manager in here when they call in. I just
Right.
want somebody in here who's got the nuts and bolts and can tell me, here's this side of it, and then we can listen to that side and the other side at the same time. It makes it easy. The call that we got, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Had absolutely no idea what the Sam Hill he was
he
talking
was
about.
wrong.
He was in La La Land,
He was wrong.
and he had a personal vendetta, shall we say. His agenda, y'all can't imagine. I know, we found out.
Yes.
But if the 13 volunteer firefighting organizations are not happy with the proposed contract, they can do what I've done when I was asked to agree to terms I could not live with. I moved on. No hard feelings.
Well, I mean, I don't know how this whole process with the 4 fire chiefs or who they even were, but I'm going to go on the assumption, and maybe I shouldn't, that they communicated with all the other,
Fire chiefs, at least.
Yeah, I
Right.
would think. I mean, I don't know, but one would think. Yes, they communicated with that one and that one and that one. I'm assuming these 4 were chosen to be the spokesman of the group. I don't know.
I wonder how
How'd they
many of
get
these
picked?
people who are making the raising the cane are actually any of those fire chiefs, any of the 13 fire chiefs, or whether they're just individuals in the department or just have, I got a gut feeling they want to take over. They want to run us out of business. They want to be in control. No, they want to be hold you accountable.
Well, I don't know if they have it now, but used to when I was involved in it. We had each fire department had a fire commissioner. Each fire department had a chief. We had a chiefs association that
Mhm.
met every month or every 2 months. We had a fire commission that met every quarter. Now, I don't know if all the chiefs got together and picked out these 4 people or
No, I don't know
not.
how they
I
did.
have no idea because I've been out of it.
Mhm.
But now that's what it used to be.
Yeah,
The chiefs met and discussed things.
I don't know.
that's
And
how I
don't know-
envision it.
Well, that's
but
what
I don't know.
They should
Yeah,
still have this. What we call the Chiefs Association. They should still have it to pick these 4 chiefs
Mhm.
to represent. Because we did that more than one time with the county. We would have discussions and we'd pick some people. Say, hey, we want this represent. We're gonna go to the board of commissioners and propose this. All of us didn't need to be there.
Well,
And then we had the
all-
fire commission
If,
was,
if 13 went up there, it would be an act. Why didn't they have all the county commissioners there? Same reason. You don't need 7 people up there
No,
when
Well,
3 will
you
do.
can't really unless you.
You're right. And
specify.
when we used to meet, if we had met with the county commissioners, we would meet with about 2 of them.
Mhm.
And we would make a proposal and then let them make the proposal to the board of commissioners if it was so deemed.
Now, I'm going to just go out here too. Not every county commissioner, not naming any one or more than one, not every county commissioner personally knows the inner workings of a volunteer fire department. They did not grow up. They never worked with them. They haven't been there. They don't know. I know of one for sure that knows a lot about it. And he was happened to be on that committee.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Another one likely knows a lot more about it than that.
Right.
Who we got? Okay.
It's an unrecognized.
Oh, we got a caller.
We had a call.
Oh, we don't. We got a dial tone.
All right, and going back to talking about the discussion we had yesterday when we had a caller that said it was mandatory that we provide,
The county.
the county provide for volunteer
It's not,
fire
is it?
departments.
No.
It is not mandatory that a county in North Carolina provide volunteer fire services. While counties in North Carolina are authorized to organize and maintain fire departments, they are not legally required to do so.
Hmm.
And that's straight from the North Carolina General
City
Statutes.
charters,
There you
city
go.
of Jacksonville, a charter for a city may or may not mandate it. It depends upon how the city
Right.
was set up and how the charter was written. If the charter is written, which any sizable city in North Carolina, the charter would include that it will furnish fire protection and police protection. Period.
Since local government function, fire protection is considered a function of local government in North Carolina. Both counties and municipalities can provide or contract for fire protection services. There's no mandate, and neither counties nor municipalities are legally required to provide these services.
The other option is you have the bucket brigade.
Yep. And it says counties can choose to provide fire services themselves or contract with other entities or rely on volunteer fire departments.
Way back when there was a water tower at the intersection of, I think, around Elizabeth Street and 17 here, Marine Boulevard, we call it these days. There was a water tower there that had antennas on it. It also had the volunteer fire department's whistle on it
Yeah.
because the city of Jacksonville had a few paid firemen. Not everybody was paid that went out to fight fires. They set that alarm off, that whistle off, so the volunteers who actually were volunteers for the city of Jacksonville Fire Department, they would respond
Right.
along with the people who work 24 hours a day. Not that many.
And the civil defense provided the horns.
Yeah,
Because they would
that
come
was
around and
the other
maintain
thing too. And it's a whole lot like the Jacksonville Police Department. Jacksonville Police Department had 20 full-time officers, right?
Yeah.
20. If they were all the positions were filled. 20.
Remember
They
how
had
many
about
volunteers
they had about 12 or 14 reserve officers. These are guys who have gone through the same training, the same police training that the full-time guys do. They would go down and work. You know how much they get paid? Zero. They were furnished a uniform. You had to buy your own shoes. You had to buy your own tie.
Same thing with the sheriff's posse.
They had a
Remember the
sheriff's
I
sheriff's
remember the
deputies.
sheriff's deposit.
special deputies.
And they turned in later on through the years, they got rid of the horses and got the mini bikes or motorcycle dirt bikes. And that turned into the auxiliary part, and they were reservists.
Yeah, remember
That's
special
what I'm saying.
deputies? My former husband, he was a special
A
deputy.
lot of that was political.
Yeah, and it was
Whoever
volunteer.
elected. It was volunteer.
Right.
They got to carry a gun and to give them a badge and say, yeah, you could go. And a sheriff can swear in anybody at any time, even today,
Yes.
to enforce the law.
Well, I'm looking at this contract, and the county is dealing with them as a nonprofit, just like when they give money to other nonprofits within the county, those nonprofits have to provide their financial
They do.
documents. They have to keep up with things. They have to give their annual reports.
Yep.
It's not just something that the county goes, okay, you're so-and-so, here's a check.
Okay. I'm still going to wait. I want to hear.
Mhm.
I want to hear all sides. I'm wide open to hear all sides. I mean, I have personal interest in volunteer fire departments because
Well, I
way
do
back
too.
before
I
I
think
was
they're
born. And we do have a caller. Good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
We're doing fine here. How are you?
Sounds
I'm
like
doing all
that.
right. Do you guys just stick to local stuff, or do you guys talk about everything?
We talk about
We'll
everything.
even talk about you if you tell us more about you.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess like the thing that I'm like worried about in the world is like principles. Like just the whole people will clearly like it is obvious that they will do something, and then when the other side does it, they call them out on it. But then when they do it themselves,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's just ridiculous, especially at this point. Like.
Oh, we've talked about that a lot, believe me, especially
Yeah.
when it comes to politics.
Yeah, I got some concerns I was going to talk about here. Shoot, have you got something specific? Because it might be the same thing I'm going to talk about.
I guess just like I had a talk with another person a while ago, and I mentioned that like I basically the principles, everything's set up the way it's set up for a reation, or at least like it is.
We hope
I mean, I'm not saying.
We hope
Yeah,
it is. Yes.
I appreciate you being so charitable too. Like that's very kind. I'm kind of stammering here.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But yeah, just like I think the thing that comes to mind immediately is, I mean, I see the picture on your wall and YouTube live stream there, and I think about like
Donald Trump. That picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think about when he tried to end birthright citizenship, right, via executive order.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how things are done. If Biden did that for, say, the Second Amendment, right? This is the conversation I just had with someone else. I said, if Biden did that with the Second Amendment and tried to do it, like even if he didn't succeed, he just tried to use the executive order to affect the Constitution, it would be wrong. But he did not get it. He could not grasp that in one situation because he likes what he's doing. That's it. If you like what someone is doing, you're going to waive your principles.
Some people do that. I don't.
Yeah. I guess like another thing, like how do you feel about like all the pictures of Biden with like kids and like getting too close to them, stuff like that? Like how did that stuff make you feel when you saw that?
Getting too close to kids. Well, let me go back and you probably not listening all the time. Most people don't.
No.
Here are my feelings about the whole Biden situation. There, but for the grace of God, go you and me. The guy, those of us who are realists have admitted we understand, and I live with it, and a lot of folks out there have, with people who are in diminished capacity, shall we say. As time goes by, some of us, when we get older, things like that happen. What I do not like is one side defending the man regardless of whatever the situation was with him, and the other side bashing him for getting old and having diminished capacity. No. And they're still doing it. They're still doing it.
Yeah.
All sides are doing it. It's the guy, again, if you might be in that position in a month or 6 weeks. Sometimes it comes on very fast. I've seen the onset of dementia come on overnight. Literally. I had an aunt who did that.
I mean, that's a very nuanced take on it.
Yeah.
And I think like the thing with me like is when I saw those, I didn't know what to make of them, right? Mm-hmm. And like as all the rumors, everything going around, but like I'm not going to take the chance when I saw that someone who could potentially feel, like I wasn't going to take the chance. Like I felt eased by a lot of the pictures I saw, right?
Well, they made me uneasy.
Some of them were creepy.
They were creepy. But my God,
yeah.
The hair sniffing ones, they were a little. That's just weird. I don't care who does it. That's just weird. It's just weird. It's like a creepy grandpa. It's creepy.
But I'm telling you what, I don't know how many really old relatives that you have, but sometimes good old great uncle so and so or great aunt so and so, she might be a little kind of on the wacky side too. It seems like. Yeah. All right, we've all been there, right? We've seen it.
Yeah, I guess.
I've seen one that was really funny where it was like. He was up on stage and he was like leaning forward. Yeah. And his wife was like pointing and her fingertip was like in his mouth just barely.
Yeah.
That's weird.
But anyway, I'll stay on that. But I was just gonna say like a lot of people were saying that enough was damning evidence, and he was a like predator because of that.
No. He was not a predator.
A lot of people. I'm not saying he was, but a lot of people were saying that, right?
Yeah, well, those were politically motivated comments.
Yeah, and now we have more politically, like, it's the same thing that's happening now. There's pictures of Trump with Diddy and Epstein. There's a picture of him with a 13-year-old girl grabbing her, like, making a little kissy face at her. She doesn't look comfortable. Uh-huh. And people are defending that. Now that it's happening to their person, they're okay with that. When before... they weren't.
Yeah. Well, the people, everybody, men are going to be the worst, except these school teachers that we keep reading about these days. I like one the other day. But people are going, men have got to be very careful. Sometimes a snapshot, a moment in time, an off the cuff comment, it can make it, you can be made to look really, really bad.
Absolutely.
And it's, we had some idiot calling us one time talking about my two co-host ladies here and make some crude comments.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? It's that's the kind of individual, given my history of many years ago. He would have been a woodshed type of guy. He would have been hurt if he'd been here in person.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. A couple of whaps and you're good to go. But that's the way that I look at things like that. Come on, people get real. Joe Biden, he served the country. Whether you like the way he did it or not prior to him being president, that's up to you. He was elected by default. And it was somebody, the Democrats went all out trying to blast Trump and to make sure he would not be reelected. And they dug up somebody only because he had a name that he could possibly be elected. And he did not have any really major bad baggage at the time. Nobody knew of him hair sniffing young ladies or anything else. They didn't know that. It didn't care. If it happened, it would have been, hey, look what he's doing. But then it got to be kind of weird. And the more he was on camera, the weirder it got. But I don't know whether it was any more weird, his actions, or whether it was always there. It just comes out. But yes, I assume you probably would concede that he had some diminished capacities in his last couple of years.
Absolutely. And I mean, even in the beginning, there were some signs that you could.
Yeah, we all saw that, but and those of us who are trained professionals, not me, but over here to my left, they could see it very quickly. I couldn't make that judgment call as easily as she could.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of stuff you said, you just sound like someone who is very principled, someone who is you sound like one of the older members of my family, some of the stuff you said.
The older part is true. The older part is true.
I like that.
But I appreciate it.
I like that.
I just look at all sides now, and I will have my opinions on certain things. I'm in favor of retroactive abortion. That means when people, after they're born and they get out there and do bad things like killing other people, they should be aborted. That means execution.
Yeah.
What? See, that's the way that I look at things. I'm in full favor of the death penalty. I want all the safeguards applied to it, of course, but I am in full favor of the death penalty.
Yeah, there's situations where
there's a point in time where they serve no purpose and will never be rehabilitated, so why put up with them?
Yeah, right. There's some situations you can look at where it's just the red-handed. They're there's no check case. They just did something. Yeah. You're right. What purpose do they serve?
Yeah, none. And then it's like this guy that got out serving a life term, but he got out and then he killed one woman while he was out, and one person while he was out, shot another one, was re-released again and shot somebody. No.
Yeah, that shouldn't be happening.
No.
Yeah.
No. They need to run those kinds of people by me before the gates are ever open or let them loose. I can take care of that. Never. No. Go back. But those are the things that I'm kind of setting my ways on. I'll listen to you, and it's okay. And I'll accept the way that you believe, and I'm not going to try to change your mind. I don't try to change anybody's mind. And guess what? You can't change mine either.
Yeah, just don't tell him he's wrong.
Yeah,
I was wrong twice.
I just want to bring out the history. I want to talk about why things are the way they are, why we got here, and have people understand that, make their own decisions based on it. Yeah. And sometimes it's kind of open and shut, like what it says. Other times it's not. There's ways you can interpret it.
Sure. What do you think? While I got you on the line here, I'm sure you've been paying some attention to this big old airplane that the royal family and the royal family of Qatar.
I'll take it.
when I say royal family, I hold my little pinky up there on the glass, so it looks like I know what I'm talking about. They offer to give the United States a 747 airplane, a big old 747. A couple of facts about it. Our current Air Force One is 35 years old. That is beyond the life expectancy of a 747, according to the Boeing folks. It's out there. A replacement plan is being built, 2 of them, in fact, to meet our government's every whim. That's going to happen. But in the meantime, it's going to take a while to get them online. The royal family of Qatar, bless their hearts, have offered us a 747, newer than the ones that there. I do not know how many hours it's got on it. I don't know how the maintenance was done on it. The questions that I have, is it worth it? Does it look bad for us to take something from a government like that to be used as our presidential's flying fortress?
I don't want us to have to owe anybody anything.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, that's my thing. I just don't want, I feel like we'd be indebted.
So what? I've got questions.
I have a lot of questions. Yeah.
I just, for me, what it would determine it is like, is it a gift to him personally, or is it a gift to the country?
It is
and
a gift
secondly,
to the country to begin with at the end of his term, that it would likely be going to his presidential library that he, of course, has to pay for.
Right. I don't even know what that means.
Just saying.
Presidents collect donations
It's a
and all
free
sorts
plane.
of stuff.
But it's.
yeah.
I mean, who
I
gives
just
a
think
plane?
it's a fine line
I
on
don't-
taking presents and gifts from other countries.
You know, I could see using it as a cargo plane. I could see using it for whatever other purpose we choose to use it for.
Right.
First of all, the wall's going to have to be stripped.
I feel like
Everything's going to have to be stripped out of the thing to make sure. First of all, because of
like a
security
spy
reasons.
plane, yes.
Security reasons. We want to make sure there's nothing built into the walls or the decking, anything. It's going to, and then it's going to have to be reconfigured to be this big flying office for the president. All the navigation equipment's got to come off, and this is all good, all well and good, because it's going to have to do the same thing for the new planes when they come online. The thing is, when the new planes come online, we're going to have to do the same thing again in 2 years, in 2027? No, I don't think so. This is not a good plan, in my mind.
Just because of the short-sightedness of that.
Yeah,
Like you're saying, like,
I mean, you know, this is okay. Here's an airplane that's a little bit newer than yours, so have at it. Go for it.
I feel like it's a quid pro quo.
They're
You know what I
using
mean?
it
That's
as
what I think it is.
Qatar's using it as a tax write-off. Give it a break. I'm kidding.
Well, they got a lot of money though.
something I've heard, like a take that I've heard on it is like, maybe you might not consider it, is like declining a gift can be insulting.
That was my take to
I
begin
wondered.
with.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You want to give me an airplane? No, I don't think that's kind of like somebody
I
coming
think
in here giving me a pair of shoes or something. What is you say? A pair of
The
shoes?
next president afterward, you know, if it stayed within like the within the administrations, like whoever's in the office gets to use it, that's one thing. But if he keeps it, then I feel a little different about it, because then it's like, what does the Constitution actually say about that? Then there's controversy. So if he doesn't keep it, then what's the big deal? Like, if it's a part of the country, not part of his personal belonging, then I don't see how it's like, it's, you know.
I would use it as Air Force One. That in itself is making a statement that we, this country, the United States of America, cannot take care of our own and put our own airplane up there under our design that we do, with a warranty on it, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good one. The other good take.
Okay, so anyway, I don't know how many hours the plane's got on it. I do not know their maintenance. I do know how we treat the presidential fleets. I've got personal knowledge of one side of that, but we have got some of the best maintained airplanes in the world when it comes to flying the president around.
Don't even talk about it.
Nope, we're not going to talk about it. But anyway, I know that they're well maintained. I know how Qatar's airplanes maintained. Do you?
It's a beautiful plane. I will
So?
say that. So park it over here and
Put some lipstick on a pig.
Kelly
It
and I are
doesn't
going
make
to
it
the
up anything
Bahamas.
but a pig.
I will say the Constitution clause in the Constitution reads, "No person holding any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of Congress, accept any present, office or title of any kind whatever from any king, prince, or foreign state, and this was designed to prevent foreign nations from gaining improper influence over U.S. leaders.
Yeah. Tell them to give it to American Airlines.
No, it's not American. What's
U.S. Air.
U.S.
Delta,
Airway? What was the other one that's having so many issues lately? What's
all
that
of the
airline?
above.
The one that you said you wouldn't take.
Oh, I won't fly American.
Okay, I thought it was the other one, U.S. Airways.
No, I won't fly American. They
They're all
they
having
stranded me in New
issues.
York for 4 days. I'll never fly them ever again.
I think, personally, I think we should take it and let our boys up there in Langley have at it for a while, and then we give it to Russia.
It's Miller time.
I think we should take it and just start deporting people with it. That'd be a
Yeah,
good
there you go. Hey, now that's
That'd be my
right.
take
The
on it.
deportation plane.
deportation.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
That's
Hey,
great. It'll
even-
hold a bunch of
Even
people.
the blind squirrel can catch a nut once in a while. I'm not too bright, but I can work on it.
Ma'am, I don't know your name, but we do appreciate your call.
Oh, of course.
Anytime.
Please call back.
Taking my call.
All right. Thank you.
Of course.
You take care. It's Miller time.
It's Miller time.
Papa Top
Bring us
again.
some pony. Bring us some pony millers with you.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning?
We're hanging in there. How you doing?
We're just in here causing all sorts of
I
Hey,
know.
discontent.
discontent, right?
You're stirring up a lot of trouble.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm serving a purpose.
You know. So, hey, Rayford, I got a question for you. I want you to put your TV news station hat back on for a few minutes. So, my question for you is: whenever you had an assignment and that you knew you had to go, what were the actions that you took before? Did you do your homework and call the people involved in the event that you were covering and make sure it was going to start on time and make sure it was still going to go on? And I assume that you probably did that multiple times before you went out and covered something.
Depends upon the event. I mean, if it's going to be one of those events that, let's just say that this afternoon we got thunderstorm warnings and we got some drops of rain falling and whatever, and there's going to be an outside celebration, some location, I'd probably call, verify it's still going on. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If it was a meeting, and I would like to know, it's a county meeting, a city meeting, a government meeting of some sort, and I've got the agenda for it in advance, and there's an item on there, one, no more than one, that I'm interested in, that I would call the clerk or the commission chairman or the mayor or whoever and say, is this item still there? You're not going to delay it, or you're not going to take it off the agenda, like happens from time to time at the last minute. No, it's still there. We're going to go through with it. And then, I will do things like that. If there's something that's going to happen that involves a schedule, a boat's going to be leaving at Camp Lejeune. If the Marine Corps has got an event supposed to start at a certain time and whatever, I want to kind of verify it's going to be there, because I don't want to sit around and waste my time. You understand?
Yeah.
Now you have a reason. You have a reason for asking.
You or your people would be the ones calling the event organizers.
Yep.
To make sure.
Either that or the assignment manager or somebody. Yes.
Okay. You wouldn't necessarily be calling other media outlets to see, hey, is this time still going on? And
No, because I figured they'd lie to me. I'd lie to them if they call me.
Yeah. So that's just one of my pet peeves, is when other media organizations, TV, call the local newspapers and say, hey, is this game still going on? Is this game still going on? Well, why don't you call the coach yourself and find out?
Because they don't have the contacts that you've got. Give me a break. They don't have the contacts that you've got. That's why.
You're the sportsman.
They do. That's just one of my pet peeves. Is when and not towards you, Rayford, because I know you did a great job. You continue doing a great job, you and Kelly and Lee. But one of my pet peeves is certain local TV stations that all of a sudden remember Onslow County as high school sports programs.
Sure.
And when some of their New Bern and Greenville area schools are no longer playing or not playing that day, all of a sudden remember, Jacksonville High School exists. White Oak High School exists. So That's my rant and rave for the day.
Oh, so they put in a second. Oh, okay.
All right, well, now here's another thing. Not to and I totally agree with you there. That's that's a routine, but I relied on newspapers for information, not
Yeah.
on a that I would copy and run it as is. But for instance, in Wilmington, we had a rack. I had a rack. I don't know whether you had one at the Daily News or not. A lot of newspapers that a rack that will hold like 7 days worth of newspapers, one for each day, right? That anybody could come in and read it. It was two little sticks put together with wing nuts, and you folded the newspaper and put it in there. Any reporter could go by and pull that paper out and look at it anytime. And then when today's newspaper comes out, then you take last week's newspaper off the rack and you put today's in it. I had newspapers. I subscribed because the Wilmington Star News was great, but it covered, some area. But I had weekly newspapers from Bladen County, from Pender County, from Columbus County, and some weeklies and bi-weeklies out there. But I had newspapers from everywhere. I had them delivered so that we would have access to them as a resource. And I will also tell you one thing. If you go look in our files, if you would look in my files, my news files, well, I'm giving away some secrets for these guys. I used a pocket knife in my assignment when I was on the assignment desk, and I kept it up as a news director. And my assignment manager would do the same thing. They would clip out articles of importance that carried out. These are the details of an event, and they would staple it to a piece of paper and put it like. Court date for Chris Miller is May 31st in Onslow County Superior Court. Well, that was put, a handwritten note was there attached with a newspaper clipping just as a reference, and that was filed on May 31st for the upcoming, the futures files. That's the way we did it. Maybe that's why we were number one all the time. What do you think?
Well, that's different, but you also subscribed. About court dates. Let's not use Chris Miller. Let's use Lee Barra for court dates. How about that?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Chris, I was following you yesterday on Twitter, of course, keeping up with you. I don't know how you keep up with.
You.
Yeah, I do stalk him.
Yeah.
I don't know how you keep up with most of it because some of the games are canceled at the last minute. Some were just postponed starting. Some started and then had to stop and wait because of lightning in the area. But yet you managed to get it all in there. I don't know how you do it.
Hey, check with God.
Yeah,
I got a phone call to God.
Jacksonville baseball and Richland softball games got suspended last night in the third inning because of the inclement weather. So they'll resume today, both games at 6 o'clock. The Cardinals, unfortunately, are down 4-0 in the third inning. So maybe the 24-hour break or so will
Maybe it'll rain again
rejuvenate
today.
them, and they'll pick it up a little bit. The Richland softball game is scoreless in the third inning. So yeah, it's been a frustrating week with all the inclement weather, and I mean you have Jacksonville girls soccer who actually was supposed to be at home on Monday in their first round game. Didn't play again until wasn't able to play till yesterday, but at White Oak in their first round game, even though White Oak was a lower team. And now has to come back around and be at home again today against a tough team in the second round. So it's look, there's nothing you can really do about the Mother Nature. I mean, it's just the way it works. But look, it's a good lesson about facing adversity and working hard and battle and fighting through.
So tell us about Damon June. I know you had posted something on Twitter the other day about him out there working hard. June putting in the work. I saw the pictures. Tell us about how he's doing.
So he graduated early from Jacksonville High School. He was the big star football player,
right?
And he wanted to enroll early at UNC. Just go and get his feet wet and get acclimated to being a college athlete, a student athlete, and he's doing really well and working out with the team, and so he apparently had a good spring game a few weeks ago, so he's doing really well.
That's good follow. That is an excellent follow up coming from a news boss, by the way. That's the way you're supposed to do it.
Thank you, because
stay on top of that kind of stuff. We want to know. Well, and besides, he went there to get Math 101 behind him, right? Before he had to buckle down.
But he's a good kid, but he's 18, a young man. So
he'll do well, and
No doubt.
but yeah, it's just an exciting time for all our. I had to go on a little bit of a rant and rave. It's just kind of one of my pet peeves. People putting in the work, and other people want to reap the benefits of of other people doing the homework. So that's but like I said, Rayford, I knew you, and you continue to do your homework and continue to do a good job. And I know you did a good job in the TV stations in Wilmington for
200 years.
In the Wilmington area.
Well, Chris, I will say, and I'll put it out there for anyone that's listening, if they want to know if the game's being postponed, canceled, or played in the rain, just follow Chris on Twitter, on X, at Chris Miller at JDN Sports.
Or just stalk him when he leaves the newspaper. Just,
because
we'll give you a description of his car. You can drive right along behind him wherever he goes.
That's how I find out. Is like Rayford, when we were going to the ball games last year, if we wanted to know, like, well, how's this school doing because we play them next week. We just followed Chris on X because even if he's out on the field at Jacksonville, he's still got the info on the other schools.
Well, they're all calling him.
Because I'm gonna tell you what,
he's got his spotters.
It does take a lot of work trying to get the information from you have to reach out to parents. Hey, so and so, would you mind keeping me updated? Or you get a hold of an athletic director who's not going to be coaching at the game. So I mean, it does take a lot of work trying to get a hold of different people to get you updates, and so it's everything's digital now. Everything's on people's phones, so people want to know who's winning this game and that game in the third quarter while they're watching another game. So it's very important to keep those updates and to post those updates and let people know what's going on.
Well, I will make the suggestion to sports reporters, and I'm just going to use you as an example here, and to any reporter anywhere doing anything, television, radio, newspaper, whatever you're doing, develop sources first. You got to develop them. You got to know what to do, develop the sources. Then you got to work your sources. Don't wait for your source to call you. You need to be able to reach out. In other words, I've got a list of people we can call right here. We got a whole big long list over here, people we can call on a moment's notice if we want to chat with somebody. We'll find somebody to talk to in the mornings if something goes down. That's the way things are working. And the second thing, if I was doing it again, I would do like I used to do. Go up to places. I don't know. County. Let's just do, because it wasn't in this county. Let's just do the county manager's office. I would go up to the county manager's office. I didn't care about seeing him. Didn't care about him at all. The secretary is sitting at the desk. I knew when her birthday was, because I would make a note of it any time I'd go by there and see things like a birthday card. I'd make a note of that so the next time I'm going by next year, I would remember that kind of stuff. And just say, happy birthday, or how is your husband, Jack, doing? I understand he's been in the hospital, or whatever. They will give you stuff like you would not believe. Not something you're not supposed to have, but they just make it make your life a whole lot easier if you develop sources like that.
Yeah. Sure. And it doesn't take a lot of work. Ultimately, you just got to be polite and courteous to people.
Yeah, it makes your life easier.
They'll reciprocate.
I used to have to go to the clerk of court's office every day. That was part of my beat way back when, and I had to check the clerk of court, what suits came in, what this came in, and if it was a superior court suit, then I would know. But I always had the young ladies there, the clerk of court in Wilmington. They would say, hey, you need to look at 78-204-S762, whatever. Go pull that file now. You're going to find that interesting. Otherwise, I'd have to read all that stuff. But they knew what was interesting because they were as nosy as I was. Give it up. You know that. It's life. So I relied on my sources. They were good people.
Oh yeah, they were, and as long as you don't burn them and you earn their trust, and you
never burned one.
And then in my case, if I multiple off-record conversations, hey Chris, this is off-record.
Oh yeah,
this is what's going on. This is what's going on, and you earn your trust, and then so when it's time to go on record, you can you can get that information. So it's all about developing sources, like you said, and earning people's trust.
And then work them. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it goes. Chris, thank you, sir.
All right,
As
thank
always.
you. Well, like I said, Jacksonville's playing tonight, 6:00. So
Okay.
if people want to come out, hopefully the weather holds, and you root on the Cardinals to see if they can make a comeback.
Okay, 15th is today. In 2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Yeah, what are you trying to say?
You talk about the Ospreys?
Yes.
All right. Okay. I had to readjust my thinking here.
About? Like what's in 2 weeks?
It's 2 weeks.
The
first game of the
Ospreys.
year for the
Okay.
Ospreys.
Opener. Yeah.
Get out there. We got to get our guys in here.
Yes, we
right
do.
Away. Right away. So anyway.
Elliot, you're listening. I'm going to
Ellie.
be calling you.
All right.
So,
Thank you, Chris.
thank you, my friend.
All right. You love
Thank you so
Bye.
much, Chris. I do.
Local sports is
sometimes.
extremely important to parents, to other folks in the community. You
It's
can
playoff time.
you
It's
can go
very
into
important.
your internet stuff out there. You can find your TV channels. You can get every ball game in the
Why don't
world.
you just put him in and call it the Miller High Life?
Oh, I like that.
Miller
We
High
call
Life.
it
Yeah,
Miller
put it on
time.
as the Miller High Life.
That's right.
I like that.
Yeah.
But we can get all those. I can tell you everything I want to know about the New York Yankees at any time I want to know it. Click, 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 click,
Yay,
bang.
Yankees. Yeah.
But I have to count on Chris Miller if I want to know something about the local teams.
Correct.
I'm gonna tell you, he,
People that matter to me.
Mhm.
yeah, that's like even like when Jacksonville's playing out of town and we don't go.
Yeah.
I'm on there following him every single second, and,
Yeah,
and we're texting back and forth. Another this, another
What
that.
I do is I go to I find out really quickly what I can't hear necessarily,
Right.
but I can find a radio station online and
that's in that area,
Baybula
right?
or wherever.
Yes.
I can find a station that covers their local ball games, teams. Oh, I got you. I'll be
Oh, yeah.
listening,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I'll be
I do
watching
the
Chris.
same.
Feel good for that.
I do
Watching
the
Chris.
same.
So
Absolutely, but once in a while you're going to get one that you can't get one there. So
yeah, well,
I'll just
I
follow
do both.
Chris.
I do both. It's just like
Yes.
we're watching a game, but you're following Chris.
I know I am. We're up there in the
person,
booth.
and you're
We
following.
were up there in the news booth, and we were just like putting out information on other schools
Mhm.
that when it came down to the playoffs,
According to,
you know, those
according to
were
Chris
the
Miller
ones.
down there in the field, Chris has got this latest information, and here's what he's doing. Yada yada.
Yeah,
Always give the other. If you're going to be a reporter and you are getting information, please give the other people that
I
you're getting that
always-
information from the credit. Okay,
on
Always
our
do
on
that.
our page, whenever I was
Yes.
putting out that information, I always gave Chris the credit.
Yeah.
That way, if he's wrong, it's not me.
You,
Just
you-
kidding, Chris.
You give him the credit or the blame,
I
right?
give him the credit. I give him both.
Offshore after 20 nautical miles today, southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 3 to 4 every 6 seconds. Sounds and rivers of moderate chop. Additional rain is possible. This is sounding just exactly like the same forecast all 3 days. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it. It's going to be light winds, seas are moderate, possibility of rain. Now's your turn. How's that sound?
I like it. So, according to this, 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms.
Again.
But otherwise, mostly sunny, high of 87 with 5 to 10 mile an hour winds and 16 mile an hour gusts. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 67, and we'll still have our little gusts. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high of 93, and it's going to be humid. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, low of 74. You know it's humid if it's 74 at night in May. And on
Here we
Saturday,
start.
mostly sunny, a high of 93. No rain. No rain Sunday either. No rain Monday
You
either.
ready for this one?
Go with
This
it.
one's going to make you laugh.
All right,
right.
let's
You
do
ready?
it.
Yeah.
Couple of teenagers, they're I think 19, something like that. They've been ordered to pay a fine or ordered to go to prison, their choice, because they had arranged to steal some exotic animals from a foreign country.
What did they steal?
Just hold on your drawers.
Oh, no.
According to court and published records, the two teens are from Belgium, the country famous for those great waffles.
Mm-hmm.
But that's got nothing to do with the story. The 19-year-old men were in Kenya and were caught with 5,000 of these exotic critters?
It's Kevin Rouse.
So what did they steal?
5,000 ants.
What?
Oh, I saw that. Yes.
Man, I'm antsy.
They got in a lot of trouble over that.
Seems that the local constables raided the guest house where they were
Yeah.
staying and found the
I saw
stash of
that.
ants, more than just a few you would blow off, perhaps as a collection for their ant farm back home. But 5,000?
Why would you have
The
an
ants
farm?
were destined for European and Asian markets in an emerging trend of
Chocolate
trafficking lesser known wildlife species. Really?
Rayford,
Yep.
this story is making me antsy.
The
Don't-
particular
don't
species
start
of
the
ants they were attempting to smuggle are pretty valuable, it seems. They're so valuable that the Kenya Wildlife Service had said the teenagers were involved in
Oh.
trafficking the ants to markets in Europe and Asia, and that the species included I don't know how to pronounce this, so go away with it. Messer something another, a distinctive, large, and red-colored harvester ant native to East Africa. Apparently, smugglers are responsible for a shortage of those particular ants in Kenya. The teens had a choice: pay the fine of about $7,700 or spend a year in the Kenyan prison. They accepted the verdict and the fine and will not appeal. The Wildlife Service said it's illegal. The illegal export of the ants not only undermined Kenya's sovereign rights over its
Oh,
biodiversity,
stop.
but also deprives local communities and research institutions of potential ecological and economic benefits. Okay, I don't know who wrote that press release. Well, all well and good. In reality, those ants are part of the diets of Kenya's population.
Well, you've got Kelly antsy now.
If
Yeah,
only we
itchy.
could convince those European and Asian countries as to how tasty fire ants are, we could make billions of dollars right here in eastern North Carolina.
You go right ahead and ante up on your ants.
There you go. Okay, you said we got.
This is Kevin.
Hey,
on the
Kevin.
phone.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I hope y'all are well as well.
We're as
You're
well as I
doing
well can
good.
be, I guess,
Glad
today.
you called.
You're retired
Okay,
now.
I'm stepping out on a leap of faith here.
All right.
I just said a prayer before I dial this number.
Oh, what's wrong?
We'll go easy.
I am the culprit that talked to Lee yesterday.
The culprit.
Yes, correct.
Did you violate any laws? I got to ask you that.
No, I'm going to tell you,
Not to my
Kevin
knowledge.
is a great
I
guy.
did not.
Okay,
Right.
good.
He's
Well,
kin to me.
you're-
How much
you're-
better do you want it? I
Well,
mean, my
well,
gosh, anybody kin to me is great.
Kevin is a
Kevin-
very Christian
Kevin, you're in trouble.
man.
He married. Well, I got one cousin married into Rayford's family. He's tickled. Rayford's
All
happy.
right, all right. I'm still antsy.
Okay, Kevin, let's
continue.
get to the point here.
Okay. Let's start by me just giving you some facts. I'll give you a little bit of background. Lee knows that already. I am torn between the sides. I worked for Onslow County government for 31 years.
Oh, Lord.
And due to health reasons, I had to retire. It's been a 2-year process, but praise God, I'm back. With that being said, during that same time, I served for 20 years as the chief/president of Back Swamp Volunteer Fire Department
Okay.
in Back Swamp, North Carolina. I served 20 years as chief, 4 years as deputy chief, and 8 years as assistant chief.
Wow.
During that time span, which covers over 40 years. I think Lee said 30, but we ain't going to hold her to it.
Her math is,
Anyway,
questionable.
I know it came up about the budgets first,
Right.
so we'll start with that. Onslow County has always called their funds that are given to each agency contributions. But with that, we accepted that we would do annual audits every year. And we were doing audits when I was chief and before. I took chief in 95, but audits were being done well before then. Every year, it would be, in fact, a couple of years that we were required for at least one agency of the group to have a full audit. So that's been done forever to account for funds.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about, I know y'all mentioned about the ISO ratings.
Right.
Okay, we, in the year of 1994, we went from a 9 to a 6. A 6, as far as ISO ratings go, is the maximum benefit that you can give to the residents, the homeowners of your district. That's the max. Anything lower than that, you start helping businesses. So, to sum this up real quick, because I know y'all have other issues to talk about, this is a matter of trust. When the emergency services, emergency management was dismantled pretty much, we had dealt with Norman for years. I served on the fire commission. I'm sorry.
Yes.
No, we're just
Okay.
agreeing. Go ahead.
Okay. I served on the fire commission. I've served on the fire rescue commission during those times as a administrative officer.
Mhm.
Like I say, I tell you what, why don't you just ask me some questions? And I have nothing to gain in this.
Yeah, I
I
understand.
have total respect for the county commissioners and their jobs, and total respect for the volunteer agencies. So,
Let me just go. First of all, I want to thank you, and everybody likes to thank people for the service, but I don't want to thank you as a volunteer,
Yes.
for you being a volunteer, because I have lived the majority of my life. I've lived in areas serviced by volunteer fire departments. All right, period, bottom line. My dad actually started the first fire department, volunteer fire department. I think it was in all of New Hanover County, but at Seagate there near Riceville Beach, way back before I was born. So I know what volunteer service is all about. It's great. And some of my best friends, when I grew up in this neck of the woods, some say I never grew up, but I got older in this neck of the woods, was Pumpkin Center. I remember when Billy and J.D. Humphrey started that department. They were the ringleaders, shall we say. And, oh, my God, they're great. Their families got into it. Everybody got into it. Their store got into it. They filled up they filled up from their personal gas tanks, the company's gas tanks. They filled up fire trucks a lot. I know how the volunteers work. I think they're important. And as far as the county, some people think the county wants to take over and have all paid firefighters. In Oslo County, not in my lifetime will that ever occur.
Right. Can't
And
afford
I don't know. That would be so far out there.
it.
That would good God, that'd be taking. I'm going to guess that it would take 6 paid people full time per fire station minimum. Would that be probably accurate?
to maintain the ratings that most departments currently have.
That doesn't mean not including volunteers. It would take 6 paid to have them working every day, or a shift work every day at a fire department, at a fire station. Would that probably be close to being accurate?
I would think so.
Okay.
Just estimating.
Yeah, that's all I can do is estimate. At $50,000 a year for a salary plus, all the other benefits and the taxes and the this and the that, all that kind of stuff, minimum. That's per fire station, $300,000. I don't know of anybody who thinks $300,000 times 13 is going to fly just for salaries, not including all of the everything else that's required for fire stations as it is. And not in this county, not in the near future, foreseeable future. We're too spread out. Fire stations, volunteer fire departments serve a community. They are community based. They have people who depend on them. They're sometimes the headquarters of the community, right?
Correct.
And they always have been. Since
Correct.
I've been around. But so I don't think anybody's going to try to ever take that over. That would be suicide. to be honest,
Well,
political suicide.
Here's the deal.
Okay.
We all know that Onslow County, especially in certain quads of the
of the county
Mhm.
are having massive growth.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I
At
agree.
some point in time, the county's going to have to think about that.
Yep.
None of us disagree with that, I don't think. That at some point in time, and in talking with others in the field, they realize that as well.
Mhm.
If you'll tell us what your plan is, I think we would help you get there.
Yeah. Yep.
That's why I told Lee yesterday, and it goes back to the one word of trust. We asked at that last meeting that I attended with about 15 other people there that was supposed to be that same committee, and we asked to meet with them, and we heard nothing. We actually proposed a date of February 26th to have a working agreement because of the time factor.
Yeah.
There are departments right now that are going under the surveys of their district, and they are under pressure.
Sure.
All the paperwork. Fighting fires used to be in the 80s. The only thing you had to do. Now we've kept records. I can go to Back Swamp right now, and I don't mind opening up the filing cabinets and showing you budgets that we've been through, inventories, hose testing, hydrant testing, apparatus testing. It's mounds and mounds of paperwork, plus pre-plans. People just don't realize how much stuff is required when you lower a rating.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what else to say other than we ask to let's rebuild that trust. But when the emergency management was dismantled pretty much, we dealt with Norman for years. Each year, presenting a budget, the Fire Rescue Commission going over that budget to be turned into the county manager to make his recommendations. This has been a yearly thing, but this thing escalated in February. We had no conduit. Norman was gone. That's what I'm saying. Emergency management was the county department that we all could go to that handled this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that connection disappeared. So
Okay.
all I can tell you is,
If that's the
if
case, it
you have
sounds like a
someone
disconnect.
I'm sorry.
It
Just-
just sounds like a disconnect. I agree with you.
Yes, sir. And that has brought, trust has always been a fine line, and emergency management has always paved that road for us.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a zone rep for the Northwest Corridor, which is this area, there was a lot of animosity all the time, and that feeling of they're going to take us over, and you had to keep them calm.
Yeah.
There's no one to go to the last 6 or 8 months, or ever how long he's been gone. I understand, can't prove it by a piece of paper that they had a working agreement while Norm was here. There was just a few odds and ends that had to be corrected.
Mm-hmm.
Line of communication gone. I wouldn't sign a contract with people I didn't trust. I'm sorry, I'm just being honest.
I understand.
That's the way
Appreciate
these
that.
agencies feel.
Now,
Right.
a couple of questions, a couple of observations. You know, there's basically a volunteer fire department for the city of Swansboro, right?
Right.
And for the city of Richlands and for the city of Holly Ridge.
Mhm.
Okay, the only difference is the municipal departments
Uh-huh.
are volunteer. Swansboro is a town department. If that makes any
The fire
sense.
department. The fire
Yes.
department is operated by the town, right?
Right.
Correct.
Okay. Does the county put in money for that?
That I'm not aware of. That would be a county department issue.
You've got
question.
West Carteret that falls under that the county is paid. It's volunteer, and that's on the list for the county also to sign an agreement with.
Another fire department outside the county?
It's not outside the county. It's that section that's in the county that's considered Carteret County, but it's in Onslow.
Yes, ma'am. What they did to do that, they either could cover it in a 5-mile district, or they extended their district to 6 miles, which is the OSFM, State Fire Marshal's Office,
Right.
approves all that. But when you go past 5 miles, from that point on, where the 5-mile ends,
Okay.
is a 9E.
Right.
Is the way it's considered. It's not a 10. You save money, every homeowner, but it's called a 9E. You'll never be able to lower that rating without putting a
Right.
substation there.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know the inner workings of any of the departments or the overall of the department. That's why I want to get somebody in here that can answer our questions from the county.
Okay?
From the county.
Okay.
I want to know what they're thinking, what this is all about. I think that I can find out. I think they will tell me. I mean, they got no reason not to, and it may clear up a lot of stuff. As far as county or emergency management under Norman Bryson, that was a whole sticky point there going there for quite a while.
It was.
And there was a mess that was happening that did not involve the volunteer fire departments. Unfortunately, you lost what you consider your conduit, and you probably did have a good conduit there. It was a great conduit in those areas. I understand that. Whatever happened. I don't know what it was. It's a personnel matter.
Right.
So
okay. Anyway, we got unplugged.
Yeah.
To bring you up to date, on the bottom of that funding, you'll see, what is it, Maple Hill
Yes.
and Hargis Crossroads.
Okay.
Some contributions to them. They also did that same thing. Their 5-mile district could actually reach into Onslow County, unincorporated area, where no Onslow County department could touch it, even with a 6-mile extended district.
Oh, I got you.
Hargis Crossroads in the northwestern part here falls under the same guideline.
So there was no.
And that's all approved by the state.
There was no Onslow County fire station within that 6-mile coverage or 5-mile coverage area, right?
They could not reach it.
Okay.
In our case, the Hall Branch Road area, same road that Mike Farms on. There's a certain area there that Back Swamp could not cover with their 5-mile. Richlands, which borders it, could not go 5 miles. So both agencies agreed to go to a 6-mile extended. And here again, the max that those homeowners can get is a 9.
Yeah.
But it's better than the 10.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is, but what are your thoughts about a combined, maybe not in every fire station, but strategically located, a paid couple of employees to work between maybe 2 stations, and then of course to help coordinate with the volunteers that are out there as well. But I mean, they're there all the time just in case.
Well, here's the deal.
I don't know.
The county has emergency responders. I think they say they have 60 employed.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Those emergency responders may be quarter percent employees, meaning they do like 10 hours. They may do 50%, which would be 50% would be 20 hours, or they may be full time, which would be 40 hours. And they have biometrics that was designed by emergency management when the emergency responder program was put in. Biometrics based on fire calls for that area. The county placed those from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And that's the way it's worked so far over the years. To give daytime coverage while people were working.
Yeah, I was going to say, because volunteers are more often available after normal working hours than they are during the day because of job requirements. And today, yesteryear, people who were joining a fire department as often as not work within the coverage area of that fire department. I remember how that used to be, but that's not the case anymore. They may be working in Wilmington and living in Pumpkin Center, whatever, but because we travel a lot these days. So getting volunteers up to speed is a little difficult. Now, here's my little question for you as an observer. over the decades. Firefighters are It used to be you went to respond to a fire call. The house is on fire. Here we go. Everybody comes a running.
Mhm.
They put the fire out. Okay, we're done. Today, what are the percentage of calls that an engine company rolls on or an engine rolls on that have nothing to do with the fire? Do you have any idea?
I can tell you normally when fire prevention is practiced, like at the schools, which is another facet of being a volunteer fireman today, they do take an engine and several people and try to cover all the schools. I mean, each agency has schools in
fire.
their area.
Yeah, I understand. That's fire prevention, fire education, yada, yada, yada. But I'm talking about for regular calls. What are the percentage of normal calls that fire trucks roll for, an engine will roll on, that have nothing to do with the fire?
Like a cat up a tree?
Many of the departments have took on the medical side.
Yep.
In our case, we do Delta calls, heart attacks.
Yep.
That kind of stuff. Is that what you're asking?
That's what I'm asking.
Other than fire?
Yep.
Obviously wrecks. And I will tell you, years ago, the study showed that wrecks were the biggest one responding factor.
Yeah.
They're happening all the time.
Yep.
So it's multifaceted, and I know y'all were about to close up, but let me just inject this. All the agencies involved, I have met with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're just asking for a time factor. Please don't press us in a corner. Like I say, these people are trying to get their ratings maintained, and we've done that since the mid-90s. We've either lowered or maintained for that many years.
Yeah, which is great.
And like I say, I'm taking no credit. I have been a small piece of the puzzle. So I'm just saying, I urge the commissioners, I even emailed them. I've not heard a thing. But in the end of the day, please sit down and talk with us. That's all we ask. If that same committee wants to meet with us, I realize they can't be over 4.
3.
I understand that from working with the county, but
Right.
Can't be
that
over
is
3.
our plea.
Yeah.
Right.
3 commissioners can meet with you. 4 is puts them into voting capacity. Can't do
Correct.
that. So,
Well, Kevin, do you think all of this can be resolved if everybody comes to a meeting of the minds and just sits down and works it out?
Lee, I honestly do. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Just sit down and talk with us as a group, like we were hoping was going to happen at Half Moon. And it didn't come to. But we gave that particular commissioner the things that we needed to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like that at the end of the day, that there can be resolution. But let's take time on it. I served on the committee to start the emergency responder program that Jeff Hudson was the facilitator.
Okay.
And we sat there for 2 weeks every night. And I'm not talking 2 hours, I'm talking 4 and 5 hours. It took that long just to come to an agreement on that. So just give us time, please.
Well, I think then maybe what should happen is the county should just, since it sounds like everybody's trying to, the firefighters are trying to negotiate, then for this fiscal year, because they have to do this budget,
they got 6
give them the
weeks.
same amount of funding they've had then, and then that'll give them time as they want to work it out for next fiscal year.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's just do that.
would
Just
be
give them,
a talking point for the agency.
Right.
then just give them the money they've been getting,
And
no
don't,
more.
and don't wait until February to do it.
Correct. And then that gives them a whole year to figure out what they're wanting or whatever. But in that way, because I mean, the budget can't be held up. The state mandates it. Like
Yeah, that's
so,
I
you know.
They're going to do a
So
budget.
then I say just give them whatever money they've been given this year for this past fiscal year, and no more. And then if they want to negotiate, then that gives them almost a whole year to do it.
To bring everything up to,
Yep.
up to where it should be.
Yep.
Well, that's like I was saying. I think this is a good contract, but
I
I
do
think
too.
that, everyone should sit down and they should come into full agreement with it. Because I will say that for all these years, Our volunteer fire departments have been out there and they have answered the bell every time it's gone off.
yeah.
And they give up their
been there.
personal time. So let's all just sit down at the table and listen to each other.
Well-
And like Kelly said, if we have to wait and make this effective the next fiscal year, then fine.
Well, then how did, my
Well-
question becomes though, this contract was presented to all 7 commissioners in a meeting. Okay, it was agreed upon by that quote committee. That
The
they,
4 firefighters
the 4
and the 3.
fire chiefs and the 3 commissioners, that they wrote that contract
Mhm.
of, from what I understand, some haggling. So, and that's why the commissioners chose to adopt that contract, because they had done whatever they did. My question then becomes, if no one was in agreement in it, why was it ever presented to begin with?
That I'm not sure of. I know I started attending your meetings in February, 3 months ago.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't lift my legs hardly. I'll be honest with you. But here again, and I know y'all probably get tired of hearing it, God has been good to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the healing process.
Good.
And when I started hearing this from Charles, having been sick for 2 years, I just felt like that there needed to be some information shared, and it just seems like it was a big roller coaster, and it was headed downhill. So
Well, I
at
mean,
the end of the day, please let's just talk.
That's what needs to be
all I'm
done. So
after.
maybe they can all get together and regroup and do whatever.
I just
you know.
don't think this was an overnight process. So where did the agreement come from? If the firefighters aren't happy, then why was it ever agreed upon to begin
I
with?
think those at that, they called it the ad hoc committee.
Mhm.
I think maybe that's a question for them. But I do know in talking to other people that the ones of the, let's say, fire rescue commission, had never seen that funding breakdown. I mean, I've heard them say that. But here again, that's where we need to get together and say, hey, where did these figures come from? Or what are they based on? And on the contract side about the calls, it says you'll do the percentages of calls and all this stuff.
Yep.
But what's the time parameter? Are you talking a month? Are you talking a quarter? I mean, and what are the penalties? Is it one time and you're gone? Strike 3?
I see what you're
I mean,
saying,
we just
yeah.
need to narrow this down some on the wording.
It says
kinda
agency
open-ended.
will endeavor to respond to 100% of all dispatch calls. However, in no event respond to less than 90% of dispatch calls. And those 100% of dispatch calls, they're requiring that you get there 15 minutes or less.
Right. And I think, didn't it say something about medical being 10?
Yes.
Okay. That's something that weather conditions could have a factor, traffic conditions.
True.
And what the questions come up is, what time frame are you talking? I mean, that would make a lot of difference.
Yeah, somebody probably not understanding response times or understanding whatever. Somebody who does understand it probably needs to help out with that writing.
Yes.
I'm just, at the end of the day, please let's talk. Let's gain trust.
Yep.
And then I don't think a single one of them would be apprehensive about signing it
Hopefully things will work
with
out.
some tweaks.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of the back in the day when some well-meaning civilian advisor suggested to the Wilmington Police Department that they go to aluminum bullets.
Yeah.
They had to buy aluminum bullets that did not penetrate a windshield and almost got a friend of mine killed when the driver was coming straight at him. That went
Wow.
away very quickly, but not knowing what you're doing and you're writing these rules, oh my, do you understand what I mean?
I see, in my opinion, that both sides need to sit down, even if they have to delay it. Sit down and get it all
And there's-
worked
Well, I
out.
would have thought they
Okay.
did sit down, which is why they had these meetings.
Well, I don't know.
Well, my understanding
We'll
is,
find out.
Kevin, didn't you say the very last meeting only one of the 3 showed up, commissioners?
That particular meeting was held at Half Moon Volunteer Fire
Mhm.
Department on Gun Branch Road. There was about 15, and I was one of them. and there was supposed to be that committee to come back and let's talk.
Wasn't that
And-
wasn't that after the contract had been written up and presented?
Yes, but we were critiquing that.
Yeah.
And we actually took notes and gave to that commissioner. You know how grapevine stuff goes.
Right.
But I heard through the grapevine that it got perceived as demands.
Hmm.
we didn't demand anything. We respectfully asked.
Well, we'll get the county manager in here. Hopefully, I was told that we would have him, so we'll get him in here and we'll have a chat. We'll find out some more.
Thank you.
Ross, thank you.
I hope y'all have a blessed
You
day.
too.
Kevin, thank you so much.
Kevin, we do appreciate your call, sir. Thank you.
Be good, bud.
Keep,
Your insight.
keep my cousin straight that's sitting there.
Well, you've
you-
managed to keep
God.
him quiet by calling in, so thank you.
Well, I turned his mic off, so it's all right.
Okay, well,
Thanks, Kevin.
we go back. I love all my cousins. So anyway, I hope y'all have a blessed
All right,
day.
You too.
All right,
Be
bud.
safe.
Thank you.
And we have Mr. Marks. Is that
Yeah,
who
I
we're
think it
looking
was
at?
Chris Marks calling.
Mr. Marks,
Morning, gang.
are you hanging around there?
Oh yeah.
Well, good. How are things
How's
going?
everybody?
Fine. How are things hanging?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Very well. Thank you.
I'll ask.
Everything's good. It's a beautiful day out. Got some sunny weather,
far.
as y'all have mentioned, and warm weather. Love
Yes, it is. It's
And more
nice.
More hot humidity. I love it.
So you got some great news, right?
I'm sorry.
You got some great news, right?
Depending on which great news you'd like, for the race across America, yes, we're doing extremely well. And next Wednesday, Alms Memorial Park is inviting the public out because they are breaking ground on a new mausoleum.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Wow.
Because they're doing so well. Well, I hate to. You really think about
Yeah,
that.
that's-
They're doing so well, but
Right.
yes, they're opening a brand new mausoleum, and of course we'll be having an event out there on National Reach Across America
Yep.
Lane Day
And
before
yeah.
the Veteran Cemetery.
That's cool.
has theirs. And so we'll be at both of those, but we're looking forward to that. And I've started posting a breakout of both locations because I want everybody to know that I'm transparent, and all the monies that have come in and run through Reach Across America National is posted on there. We had a donation yesterday from Carolina Beach.
Oh, wow.
A
Nice.
citizen down there bought 12 wreaths.
Really?
Yes,
That's
Carolina
excellent.
Beach.
That's excellent.
That was wonderful.
Yeah.
It's getting late into the show, so maybe tomorrow
Okay.
mention something.
We'll get into
I
it.
know Royce can't call in.
Yeah, I know he's in a meeting right now, and hopefully he'll call tomorrow or whatever. And hopefully we'll get
Yeah.
some additional information from the commissioners because this whole thing's getting kind of confusing. to
It
me.
is. It's
Two different-
convoluted.
yeah.
Now I just need some facts.
Yeah,
I just need somebody to be able to answer my questions.
I just
always
pray
have
it all
questions.
works out because I think it's good to have a contract, and I value our volunteer fire departments.
Mhm.
They're the
Right.
best.
Yeah, they are very quick, and I'm not saying I love Jacksonville Fire Department. Jacksonville Fire Department. They are very quick, very responsive. I know one way, things to be measured. If you ever saw the Onslow County Services, the gray vehicle, that
Yes.
responds as well to the.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing is on the road all the time.
Yeah.
So
Been in my
obviously
neighbors
those
a
things
lot.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think, I like to throw my name to them and say, look, you need an arbitrator? I'll be happy to do it. I do
There
it for
you
a
go.
living.
Yeah, I mean, we have two great sides, and I just hope they're able to come to.
Why don't we just have that meeting right in here? One
Yeah,
side,
bring it on.
other
We'll do
side.
it right
Come
here
on,
on
we'll
the
do it
air.
live.
We'll let
That's all.
all
You
the
want to be
people listening.
transparent? We'll let you have transparency.
We'll let the good citizens of Onslow County call in and give their opinion.
All right, Chris.
I will say that it's going to be very busy there on that night. There's going to be some good news starting it. I hope there's good
Mhm.
news ending it. But it's going to be something very exciting at the beginning of the meeting.
Okay.
I hope people that cannot attend will,
Oh yeah,
We'll
I know
watch it.
what it is.
yeah, Lee can tell you off air because we don't want to let this.
No, don't let
out.
the cat out of the bag yet.
Mhm.
Yeah, but,
All Chris?
I'll let you all go because it's time to end the show.
Yeah, then I got to go beat up something. It's a device.
I'm gonna help you beat it. Hey, save it. I'll help you beat it up tomorrow morning
Yeah,
before the
Chris
show.
is going to be
Thank
here
you.
tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Wow.
Well, real quick, like if you're running what we used to call a juke joint,
Juke
you know what a
joint?
juke joint is?
Yeah.
It's a place that illegally sold booze, so named because it often had a jukebox for music in the middle of it. It would be wise to keep the noise down so as not to tick off your neighbors. 2 New Bern residents face felony and misdemeanor charges in a multi-agency ALE operation. It wasn't because they were making too much noise, though, but the noise caused residents to call the cops. The North Carolina Alcohol Law Enforcement Division, along with the New Bern Police Department and the Craven County Sheriff's Office, investigated complaints about disruptive behavior from illegal alcohol sales in New Bern last Friday. After the search, New Bern residents Edward Herring and Bernica Wilson were arrested on a bunch of different charges. The cops seized over 55 bottles of liquor, non-tax paid liquor. It was liquor that's legal but not to be sold. Got it? They seized cocaine, heroin, marijuana, assorted drug paraphernalia, 4 guns, and over almost $3,000 in U.S. currency.
They had a whole operation going there: drugs, alcohol,
On guns
music.
and bullets, lots of ammo. I saw a bunch of magazines there loaded. Herring was charged with 4 counts of possession of a firearm by a felon. Go figure. Possession with intent to sell and deliver cocaine and marijuana. Possession of heroin, maintaining a dwelling for controlled substances, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession for sale of alcoholic beverages without that required ABC permit. Wilson, well, possession with intent to sell and deliver cocaine and marijuana, possession of heroin, maintaining a dwelling place for controlled substances, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession for sale of alcoholic beverages without that required ABC permit. If you're going to have an illegal outlet, that's what they officially call them, a juke joint, what I call them, then don't make any noise, because your neighbors are going to be calling about a loud party or too noisy. And then when the popo get there, they're going to say, what's going on? You got a problem. We can respond to these calls.
Mm-hmm.
And they went in force. They knew what it was, and they got it. God, those things used to be rated. When I did some work for ALA, doing photo work for them, as a police officer, I was loaned out to do things. Oh my God, you could hit 5 and 6 and 7 a night, different teams, and we went multiple counties. That was the funny thing.
All right, Lee, we're gonna have to change our plans. And
There you go. If you're going to do it, make the walls very
Uh-huh.
thick.
Yeah.
Put soundproofing on the walls.
we'll do the soundproofing, Lee. We
And,
gotta remember that.
and then the best thing to do is find a parking lot somewhere, like an unused parking lot that's not at a shopping mall,
Right.
and then get a trolley
Yeah.
to bus people
Ching,
in.
ching,
Yeah.
ching, with the trolley.
Yeah.
That's the way you do it.
That's what we'll do. That's our plan.
See, that's the way we can do things. Y'all
Yeah.
need to talk to me. I can help you out. That is not what you think you will normally drink. I know. They don't have it in a lot of
Irish
places.
stout, not a trolley. Is that an ale?
No, it's a beer.
It's a real beer?
But it's
Yes, it
Irish.
is.
And
It is.
I thought the box looked good. I went to a place and started asking, and they said, well, if she likes that other kind that she likes,
Yeah.
we don't have any of the non-stout stuff, but this stuff here,
Mhm.
she needs to give it a try.
Okay.
So I said, okay.
Yep.
I said, she's Irish now. You know, there's a temper there I got to deal with.
There it
They
is.
said, it'll be okay.
Chill, pour. No, chill, pull, pour, pause, and enjoy.
And repeat.
Happy
That's it.
birthday.
I don't like it cold. I won't chill it.
We got one little thing just before we go.
Okay.
We had a new addition to the farm.
You're so cute.
Ain't he purr?
I knew
So
Jack.
cute.
He's a mess.
He's so cute.
Oh, I think
She started writing down names,
Uh-huh.
and I come down with my 2 names,
Right.
Oh.
and she's
How
got
about
a
big
list.
ears?
No,
Well, what are
My-
your 2?
my 2 names.
Oh God,
My 2 names were Rayford and AC.
Oh, that's what you were talking.
That was
Ooh.
my two names. And I don't know
What is,
names.
hold on. I can narrow it down. How tall is or isn't this critter?
Oh my gosh.
His mama, he ain't gonna be over 28 inches
It's gonna
tall.
be-
I weren't gonna be
It's gonna be AC
I
then.
weren't gonna
If it's a
go
6 footer,
there.
I'll take it.
I promised him I'd quit picking on him.
Well, you don't have to. I'll take care of it.
But you ain't so tall either. Now, come on.
I'm 6'2".
But I didn't want to throw that in it. Now don't know what Saint Diane's gonna do, but I threw my two names.
What kind of names is she picking? Do you know?
I don't really know
Okay.
because she knows I do a lot of that.
Yeah.
And but it took her 3 months to name her horse, and I named him Ugly. And he comes to Ugly.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And she still gets mad because I slipped.
Mhm.
Well, I got to go out there and give Ugly a shot, or and she said, "Who?" Excuse me,
I'm
honey.
talking about the neighbor down the
Yeah.
street. You know that ugly guy down there?
That's what I came up because he's a little male donkey. It was kind of like a unfortunate experiment, but I had done a lot of research and
This is a cross between a donkey and a what?
no, sir.
Okay, just checking.
Charlotte was bred actually by her brother, and I was told
What?
So he's
Yeah.
inbred. He's an inbred.
He's a little
donkey.
inbred thing. But the
He's
thing about
inbred
what
donkey.
we were looking for, because I talked to other donkey people
Did you
too.
get them some aspirins or
And,
something?
no. What we did, we were trying to get the gorilla. Ancient donkeys had stripes
gosh.
around their legs. It's called gorilla stripes.
They call it what are
And they
stripes?
have the Somalian donkeys always had the cross on the back. And he came out with 4 stripes, one on each leg. And he's awesome. And I put a price tag on him to start with, which I had the intervention hit me in the face again because I had somebody he was going to pay me $2,000 for him because of
Really?
Yes.
Sold.
Miniature donkeys are a big
Sold.
business now. You can pay up to
$2,000. Can I borrow some money?
$7,000 for a miniature donkey.
Yeah, but no.
I know. Yeah, I'm looking at them eyes right now. You can't do that.
I can put half of this roof on over here for that.
But no.
You got 2 of those donkeys?
Saint Diane.
No, he don't.
Saint Diane came up with it. We can't get rid. I said, wait a minute, honey.
Nope.
We can't have 2 Jacks. I'm either going to have to castrate Theo or this one. So she said,
Vote for Theo.
and I said, well, yeah.
You're that thing. I got you.
Yeah, the
I
4-legged
vote for
Theo.
Theo.
And she said, well, maybe we can let you castrate the baby. I said, well, maybe you can let me sell him.
No.
But see,
$2,000?
No.
Sold.
and I even
No,
told
it's
one
part
of
of
my
family.
buddies, I said, how about
How
trading?
tall will he get?
He won't get over 28 inches.
Oh,
He
no,
may
I
not
keep
get
it
that
in
dog.
yard. Yes,
Yeah.
my wheels
As
are turning.
long as my neighbors don't know it's a goat, hey, I'll
It's not a
disguise
goat, It's
it.
a donkey.
Well, I mean, donkey is what I meant.
You just have to look at
If your neighbors don't know it's not a goat and it's a donkey, then
I'm safe.
you need to change neighbors.
28 inches. Sammy, you're not listening,
You
are
gotta
you?
understand his
He
dad.
knows jackasses.
Theo is 33 inches now. His mother's 28, and I'm guessing he'll make
Theo's a
28.
big boy.
Minutes, you're
Yeah,
donkey.
he's shot up.
He is
He's
a big
really
boy.
he's a sweet boy.
He could ride on the back of our scooters.
Yeah, and he also
Beside us.
one of my mules has turned into a second mother.
Oh, okay.
She's never paid attention to anything, and all of a sudden after this, she follows this baby. If
So
he
many
wanders off
places I
from
could go
mama,
with this.
Uh-huh.
but-
She's right down behind him,
Yeah.
and she'll turn around and guide
Okay.
him back to mama. Because now he's a boy, he's gonna be adventurous,
Yeah.
and he
Right.
is. In fact, he'll get out,
Mhm.
and he just like his mama. He get out, he go underneath the fence, and he was looking at me one day when I got there. Well, he ran straight back to the gate, and I walked out there, and Mama and Pearl, the mule, are hollering because he's on the wrong side of the fence. Well, I pick him up, put him back in there. And then he turns and looks at me and just snorts.
And this pet moment has been brought to you by Live and
Yes,
Local.
I know. But I didn't want to throw that in there. He's doing well.
I
and
like
like
the
I
name
said,
choices.
I loved him. Rayford and AC. I weren't gonna say Robin because that can go either way too. But I'm nicknamed Robin AC anyway, and that's what I call him.
No, AC's fine.
I like AC. In fact, he called me one day. He said, I heard you said
It's
that
not
name.
AC/DC.
Yeah. But he said, I kind of
This
like
is
that
really
name. I said, well,
getting out of
that's your
hand now.
handle.
That's his
I said,
name,
I
yeah.
didn't say a bad. I said, you got to understand.
I do want a picture of the two of them together there.
Who, AC and Rayford?
I'll take him over there. Yeah. I'll
That
get you a
will make
picture.
the wall.
I will get you a picture.
That will
I can promise
replace-
that will happen.
That will replace Trump.
This is gonna get out of hand quickly.
Yes, it will.
I gotta go because
No.
that mom's got a nurse
I
coming.
do too.
Happy rest of your
Thank you.
birthday.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of it. We pray for you because who you married to anyway.
Yeah.
So you get an extra prayer
I
today.
appreciate that. I appreciate that.
All right.
So,
Mr. Thomas, thank you for coming in.
yes,
Thank you.
love having him
I
here.
can be back Monday.
Okay,
If you
come
need
on
me to.
down.
If you ain't got a
Okay.
crowd,
Yeah, come
if
on.
you got a crowd, I mean, I don't mind
No,
waiting.
not
And
yet.
I got a doctor's appointment first thing in the morning.
We
so-
haven't got a crowd on Monday.
Not yet.
But
Not
I,
yet.
I enjoy it.
You'll be a crowd all by yourself.
We're on vacation, or I'm on vacation till Tuesday, and it's the Farm Festival in Mount Airs this weekend.
You
we're
going?
Yeah, we were going to leave tomorrow morning,
Mm-hmm.
but with her new job, I just can't go right now. And I can't
She's
do this.
retired.
Well, yeah, she's got working 5 hours a day.
I understand.
Huh?
We got to go.
I want to get by.
We got to go. Kelly's got to go to work. I have to go to court.
I have to go.
Court.
You got to go to
I've
court.
not done something
Yeah.
wrong.
What have you done now?
You know what court I'm talking about.
Oh, yes, I do.
That's right. Lee's got to go to court.
She's got to go watch some on TV.
Oh, that thing.
The trial.
Yes.
Oh, we've only got it like
Yeah,
a.
God.
Okay, I'm not saying anymore. We got
That's
to
the
go.
boob. That's the boob tube. You're live and local. We'll talk. Where we're always awake, never woken. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Tell Robbie
Beginning.
may have a brother.
He's got a brother.
Say goodbye, Rayford.
Goodbye, Rayford. Bye.